Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javanokelo, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Thank you so much for joining me for another incredible episode of the Daily African Proverbs. I'm so excited to be here with you. This is the African Father in America podcast, and we are live on YouTube, and we are also live on Clubhouse. I want to thank you, Chioma, for being here on time for us to begin our conversation today. And I also want to thank our guests who are joining us on YouTube and our other guests who are joining us here on Clubhouse. We have an amazing topic that we have prepared for you, why you need to be passionate about the things you love. And we are going to break this down, especially grounded on an amazing African proverb that comes all the way from Seychelles, in East Africa, in the Indian Ocean. Chioma, how are you doing today, by the way?
I'm good. I am good today. I'm excited to be here and to dive into this proverb. How are you, Simon?
I am doing well. I am just waking up, but it's Wednesday, and I'm always excited for Wednesdays because I get to listen to poetry. I get to learn something new, and also I get to hang out with you, which is something special for me. So I also see my wonderful, wonderful sister Simply E is also here with us. I just thank you both for being here. Simply E, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm just grateful, and I'm happy to be in this space. I missed y'all.
Hi, Simply.
How are y'all?
I'm good. I'm good. And it's good to have you in here. I love hearing your voice and your energy.
Yeah, me
Oh,
too.
yeah, I missed y'all. I mean, yeah, I can feel parts of my heart when I'm missing people that I'm supposed to be around. So, yeah, I'm just glad to be back around you too.
This is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's really like we're back together after a while. I think Madaraka, even though Madaraka Festival was important, it kind of disrupted the flow that the three of us had established for Wednesdays. So I think today is a good day. Today is a good day. I want to invite Brother Earth and Brother Rushi to the stage. I also see Rocky, who is an amazing supporter of this space here, and also Airbus, Mike. Thank you for being here. Feel free to join us on the stage. We are live and direct on YouTube. I shared the link of the YouTube, conversation or the YouTube live stream at the very top of the room so that you can easily join us. But I want to ask you at this early moment of our time together to share the link. If you're on Clubhouse, just share the link within Clubhouse, and I'll do that right now just to demonstrate what I'm talking about. I'll just leave a comment there why you need to be passionate about what you're doing, right? So go ahead and do that. Go ahead and share the room to Twitter and WhatsApp and Instagram, everywhere that you can do it from. I think Simply E does a great job, just sharing how we can all participate. So I'll let you, invite everyone to be more engaged, right now, if that's okay.
Yeah, thank you, Simon. One of the things that I do love about this space is the fact that you are facing in whatever direction it is that people are comfortable. So if you're twittering, if you tweet, you can tweet to your friends into the space so they can join us. If you're on YouTube, you definitely want to make sure that you're in that community so that you're able to pick up on the different broadcasts. And then you can have an extra bonus of actually seeing the beautiful faces this morning live and direct. And if you just want to give voice to the subjects that we're talking about, come in Clubhouse, raise your hand and come up on stage and just add value in that space as well. Instagram also. So if you want to get a head start on the subjects in the morning, that's a great place, and then be able to weigh in as well. So I think that is so dope, that no matter where you're comfortable, you can pretty much make sure you're a part of the community in here. Also, I always think about the fact that when I have people around me that I enjoy and that they enjoy the same things that I do, I like to have comfort in their company. So if you have somebody in mind that you think would also enjoy the space, or you enjoyed the space by having them as company in the space, you want to make sure that you invite them as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome into the space, African Father in America. I pass the baton back over to Simon.
Thank you, Simply A. I love it. Again, I appreciate you for being here, and also I just want to welcome, Crystal, who is here, and of course Brother Earth and Sharon. Nice to see you. Today we have a proverb from Seychelles. Seychelles is a beautiful country, actually in the Indian Ocean. It's an island off the coast of Africa, very close to Kenya and Somalia and that region. And, the proverb today says that a dog that lives on the bank of a brook never tires of lapping the water. I'll say it one more time. A dog that lives on the bank of a brook never tires of lapping the water. It's no secret that, dogs love water. I don't know if you've seen dogs that if you throw a ball into the water, they'll jump in the water and swim and go and get the ball and bring it right back to you. And, if you have a dog, I have 2 dogs, by the way. And, recently I was draining a pool at our house. And the water was so dirty, nobody even wanted to use the water in that pool. But we have a puppy, it's a 13-week-old puppy. It's called Lulu. And, it just saw water and it saw its own image in the water and it jumped straight in, and we had to deal with the mess of cleaning it up. So I want to not take much of your time today. I want to go straight into the 3 nuggets, and then I want to bring our guest, Chioma Sheri, who is an incredible creator, writer, and poet. And Chioma is going to share with us a poem that was inspired by this proverb: a dog that lives on the bank of a brook never tires of lapping the water. So our first nugget, our first takeaway is follow your passions. If you are not passionate about the things you do, then you'll never be truly happy. Number 2, find a way to integrate your passion into your everyday life. This is what we're doing here right now is a great example. It's not always possible to follow your passions 100% of the time, but try it, and find ways to integrate it into your daily life. I know that I'm a full-time father, I'm an entrepreneur, I do so many different things, but I know that I love storytelling and I love community building, and I just love centering my ancestors and our ancestors. And so I start my day by hosting the Daily African Proverbs, because I know that if I ground myself this way, everything else is great, So I've found a way to integrate what I'm passionate about into my life, and I think we can all do that. And I think Chioma is doing that too. If you look at her Instagram page, she's doing that very consistently, and I think we can all relate to how that is actually possible. And then finally, don't be afraid to take risks. Following your passions can sometimes involve taking risks, but it's worth it at the end of the day. For example, Madaraka Festival that just happened on August 13th and 14th here in Seattle at Pier 62 was an entirely risky endeavor. It took us over a year to plan it. It took us a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. But what the public is seeing is actually what is great. That's what me and the team were looking for, But there is also what's going on behind the scene that you all don't know, and that's the effect of the risks that we took. There are people who are still exhausted from Madaraka. I can't even talk to them, and also there are obligations that I still have to work hard in order for me to accomplish as a result of the last Madaraka. Meanwhile, we've already started mobilizing and planning for the next Madaraka. But, there were also failures, even though we were on CNN, we were on a lot of media platforms, even locally here. We partnered with KEXP, which is the biggest radio station locally. And now they are talking of live broadcasting the festival next year because of how successful this year was. But we had so many challenges. Sometime the food was late. Sometime you wanted an artist to be on stage, but they were in traffic 30 minutes away from the venue. But nobody in the audience really knew what was going on behind the scene. And I would say it was a worthwhile risk to take. So without further ado, I want to share the structure for the rest of our show today. Number one, we are going to hear what Chioma thinks about today's proverb, Number two, we are going to hear an amazing poem from Chioma. And then we are going to learn about some tips that Chioma has for us in regards to how you can prepare for the cold months that are ahead. Those of us who live here in America, we always dread the cold. When it's cold like this is when I miss Africa the most, And so Chioma is going to just encourage us and share with us some tips. And then finally, you're all going to learn how you can stay connected with the amazing Chioma, who is our guest today. So Chioma, I'll pass the mic to you so that you can properly introduce yourself and then share with us what your thoughts are in regards to today's proverb: a dog that lives on the bank of a brook never tires of lapping the water. Chioma, just before you jump in, I just want to mention a couple of things. Number one, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. I deeply, deeply appreciate it. Take a minute, subscribe to the channel, and also give this video a thumbs up so that YouTube algorithm can know that there is a village behind this content. And then number two, if you're here on Clubhouse, I see that we are many here at the moment. I want you to take a minute and share the link to this room on Clubhouse. Leave a beautiful comment about what you're hearing right now. Share it also on Twitter, on Instagram. And also make sure you follow me on Instagram, by the way. That's where this entire production is choreographed from. We share the meme with this proverb a couple of hours before this show begins, and then we engage with it over there, and then we come here and discuss it live and direct. So Chioma, I'll bring you on and share with us your perspective on today's proverb.
Hey, Simon. I'm just going to jump right in. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you so well, loud and clear.
Okay, awesome. Also, first, I also just want to give a shout out to my friend Sharon. I know she hasn't been in here for a while, but it's just nice to see you in the space. So just thank you for your support. Right. So for this proverb, a dog that lives on the bank of a brook never tires of lapping the water. This one was really interesting to me. I had like a lot of thoughts, so I'm just gonna like run through them. So one thing that sort of like came to mind is like you will take in sort of like what you live by, being able to adapt to one's environment. So our ability to adapt to our environment and what's nearest to us. I wondered, could this be like cautionary or just the ancestors just trying to say what is? So I thought, maybe this could be encouraging us to be aware of where we live and spend our time, to not be complacent. And I also think, the dog never gets tired of lapping from this water because it's, it's it's what the dog knows and what's nearest to it. So I thought of like being able to adapt while also still being aware of the things that are around you or that you're taking in. And then another side of this, which I think is in align with some of your 3 points, is just being grateful for what we have. I'm thinking about sort of like the the brook, like being able to like live by or be by a body of water is actually a blessing. There's so much resources and things you can get from the water. It's a life source, so being able to be by a fresh body of water is something that is seen as like a really good thing in a lot of places. So I said when you really have a good thing, you'll never or you shouldn't get tired of it. You're not going to be tired of it. You're going to keep coming back to it because you know it's of value. So this proverb just made me think of like coming back to a thing or frequenting something because like you are familiar with it or you know it versus like coming back to a thing and frequenting a thing because you know its value. So yeah, the proverb just had me have like both of those things or those thoughts in like tandem. So yeah, it was a mix of those things. Hopefully that makes sense, Simon.
It
That's
does.
all
It
for me.
does. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Chioma. I love that. I love that. I want us to go straight away to the poem before we begin hearing other voices and hearing, feedback from, from Simply E. But in the meantime, I want to encourage you all again, ping in 3 to 5 people. Just take a moment, think about who needs to be here for this conversation and ping them in right now. Thank you so much. Chioma.
All right. I saw someone in the chat ask what the proverb is. So I believe it should be at the top of the room, or maybe if someone can drop it in the chat, that might be helpful. But the proverb is a dog that lives on the bank of a brook never tires of lapping the water. And I'll share my poem that I wrote. All right. Why I come back to you, because you're a body of water, and some days I thirst. Why I come back to you, because you're a body of water I know, and familiar tastes good sometimes. Why I come back to you, because you're a body of water, fresh water, that I love to dive into. Why I come back to you, because you're a body of water. You're a body of water. Thank you.
Wow, that's really, really beautiful and really powerful. Simply E, I would love for you to take it from here for a moment and just share your feedback to Chioma.
You know what, Chioma, I love the repetition there. Because we are talking about returning back to the water. I love the fact that you repeated that, um, that you repeated that concept back and back and back. And I
Thank
don't know,
you.
I I I I, I have really become a big Chioma fan.
Oh,
Um,
Simply, thank you.
I have I have because it's the way that you're paying attention to what's being said, not only what's being said, but the gist of the thing. And I just love the fact that your use of repetition in this for this particular proverb. I think it's beautiful. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Simply, thank you. I'm honored to hear that coming from you. So I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much.
More than
Yeah, sorry, Simply, go ahead.
no, that was it. That was it, Simon.
Yeah, I felt so moved by this poem, Chioma. I feel like I listen to you more and I listen to you more deeply these days. But this one was special. I felt like it spoke to today's topic really, really clearly. Because as you are saying, why you come back to this body of water, I thought about, why we need to be passionate about the things we love, so you come back to the thing you love until you get passionate about it. And sometime when you love something so much, you even find yourself talking to it, you find yourself having conversations with yourself about this thing that you love. Sometime when you're stuck, people always say, go and be silent somewhere and talk to your God. And honestly, your God sometimes is this thing that you love the most. And I just want to say how beautiful your poem was. But now, Chioma, we are.
Simon,
Yes, go
sorry,
ahead.
you always be dropping gems. Like, that was just so beautiful what you just said. Sometimes our God is that thing that we like love, and I just think that was just very beautifully said, Simon. So thank you. I'm like, Simon, I feel like every session you get deeper and deeper, Simon.
That's great. When you spend a lot of time with poets, you become a poet too. Anyway, so if you're just joining us, your presence means so much. I see that our numbers are increasing here, and I would love for you to share the link to this room if you are here with us on Clubhouse. And if you know that we are live on YouTube and you're there with us, I really thank you so much. And I want you to make sure you subscribe to the channel, and also do a thumbs up, push a thumbs up for this video particularly. And if you have never subscribed to the channel and you're listening on Clubhouse, the link to our YouTube channel is right at the top of the room. And this is amazing, especially because the African Father in America podcast is now a 5-star rated podcast on Apple. This is episode number 264, and we could not do this without you. This is, we are sitting around the village fire and really bringing our ancestors to be present here with us through these proverbs that we are discussing consistently since January 2021. So we are all making history here. This is serious work that we are doing. So Chioma, give us a few tips as we go into the cold season, and there are also a lot of cold things that are happening around the world that really freeze people in their moves. Even if you're passionate about what you do, even if you love what you do, sometimes the weather impedes you from executing your ideas. Sometimes events that happen around the world are also like the cold season. So I just want you to give us a few tips on how you would survive this upcoming season, but also how all of us can learn a few things from you in regards to preparing for the next few months. And the seasons are changing. We are in the last part of September. October is just around the corner. So I'll let you share with us some wisdom as we continue with our program.
Well, I know that I think I'm still preparing for the cold, to be honest. And I actually asked some friends like what their thoughts on this was. So I definitely am looking forward to hearing, what other people have to say, some of their tips of like what they do in the colder months. But for me, it's really about collecting all the things that make me warm. So both physically and spiritually. And like just like community wise. I just realized I feel like these days just like the impact of just having like warm like spirits and people around you, like that actually really does make you warm. Like it affects you physically too, makes you warm. And just like on the physical, I guess like basic aspect, like I know for me, soup is going to be a very big thing for me these few months. And I think the lovely thing about soup is that it's so versatile. You can do so much with it. You can eat it by itself, eat it with soup, you can eat it with noodles. And then if you're trying to get your veggies in, you can like throw all the veggies in a pot. It's just such a I don't know, it's a fun thing. It's a cool thing to make. It's usually not that like difficult as well. But I think, soups for me, teas, warm fuzzy socks, those basic things. But also it's really just me being intentional about um, just like those like little physical things, but also just the people and the spaces that I'm around, because I think these colder months can also get at you like mentally as well. And a lot of people sometimes they experience like depression and certain things during these colder months. So I think just having a community is also a really great thing, and just things that feed your soul. I think this proverb speaks to it really well, like just having those things that you love. So for me, it's really trying to be intentional about those things that I love. One of my sister friends just mentioned how like she's trying to at least do one thing that she's passionate about a week. So similar to what you said, Simon, one thing that she loves, or that's like her purpose, like a week, because we all sometimes have like our day jobs and stuff like that, but just doing one thing that fills her soul a week. So I guess that those are some of the things that I can leave with y'all today. Hopefully that helps somebody.
Yeah, it helps me. I just want to know the kind of soup that you love. I didn't know that you're so much into soup. What's your favorite kind of soup?
Like because of like last year, like it's really interesting. I'm amazed like how getting through the like certain seasons, and sometimes not with everything that you need, can teach you and prepare you for the next. So for me, it's honestly I've just like random, like I've literally just randomly made soup, like just do some stuff together. I don't know what kind of soup this is, but it's good. So sometimes like that's sort of like been like chicken soup. Sometimes that's just been a variety of veggies. Sometimes I've eaten, which is not necessarily soup, but like Nigerian soups. Like I've tried to make a goosey and okra soup. Some people debate if it's like soupy, like it's not your liquidy as much liquidy as like your other soups. But I think for this season, those are the things that I'm gonna be getting into. Just some like random soup making, as well as some of my traditional like Nigerian soups, and probably will explore others as well. So yeah, that's me. Can't say I have a favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Chioma, I have to tell you that, I didn't know what egusi was until this August during Madaraka Festival. You know, the way big artists, they have a rider, they have their rider, hospitality rider, where you have to follow everything that they put there for you. And one of the things that Dibanj, who was he was the headliner. Yeah. He was like, you have to have egusi soup. My food has to be made by a Nigerian chef. And we had to find a Nigerian chef in Seattle, where it's very hard to find a Nigerian chef. But I have to tell you, the soup was so good. We also had a Liberian chef at Madaraka. We had pepper soup. It was an incredible time, yeah. Lavender was actually helping make all this happen, so she might be able to speak to some of these delicacies later on. But I want to ask you, Chioma, now, because you're our special guest, just take a pen and paper and take a few notes, because we want to hear from all our friends who are on stage. I just turned off hand raising because now we want to go even deeper into our conversation today. If you're just joining us, my name is Simon Javan Okelo. That's actually my website. If you don't know my website, that's how to get to it. simonjavanokelo.com, my full names. And also that's where our blog is, Raise Your Consciousness blog. We write amazing blogs from each of these episodes, if you are a reader, the notes that Chioma is taking are going to end up with Stella, and they're going to end up being a blog post from today's conversation. So I deeply appreciate my team. I just want to give a quick shout out to the One Vibe team in the house. Stella, Steven, and Lavender are part of my team, and we do incredible work. Outside of this show, we do One Vibe Africa, which is an amazing non-profit organization where we have an education, music, and art program in Kenya that has served over 2,000 youths since 2013. And we organize African Dinner Series here in Seattle. We organize Kijiji Night at Seattle Art Museum every February for Black History Month. And I just love the work that we do with our time. So I want to bring you on, Simply E. I want you to share with us your own perspective when it comes to today's proverb. It says, a dog that lives on the bank of a brook never tires of lapping the water. And also, Simply E, feel free to invite everyone who is listening and watching to be more engaged.
Absolutely. Um, one of the things about a dog, and I thought it was very cute that you were talking about your puppy jumped into the water. Most dogs love water, and so it's difficult to keep them out of there. It's an instinct for them. They just kind of love it. Um, and so I think that that's important to know, right? Because we're talking about passion and all of that as well. When you're around something that you normally naturally gravitate towards, then that can be a very inspiring situation. Um, and so I think that that's important because Chioma just said something very important when she was talking about preparation for the wintertime and being warm around warm people. It's the same concept. If you're around water and you love water like a puppy or a dog would, you're gonna keep jumping in there. You're gonna keep doing what it is that comes natural and comfortable to you. So I think just being around things that you naturally gravitate towards, where you don't even have to think about it, I think can be a very nurturing thing for the spirit and the mind. And um, as I said, I've been becoming a very big Chioma fan. um, um, a lot of that comes from just listening to the way that she's expressing in this space. So I have to take my hat off. I know, Simon, I'm about to embarrass you, but you have really done a great job of making this space one that people can kind of put their arms around. And so I just want to say that, give you that for just a moment. I hope you really, really embrace what I'm saying, and that's a joyful space. This has been a very joyful space for a lot of people. We are very grateful. I'm very grateful in my heart for this place. Um, with that being said, for anybody who holds the same sentiment and you want to make sure that people around you are being positively influenced in order to balance their lives and make sure that they've got something that's great in their space, I encourage you, pull your friends in, invite them in Clubhouse, send them a little here and there from YouTube, subscribe yourself, and give a little bit of input on Instagram. I think that just kind of doing those things that come natural to you and responding in a space that you feel comfortable in, I think is a great way to exercise some positivity. So, again, thank you again, Simon, for this space, and grand rising and love to everybody.
Thank you, Simply E. I just deeply appreciate everything you just shared. Chioma, do you want to add something?
Just thank you, Simply E. Like, I second everything you say, and I receive the words that you gave me. I really appreciate that. And I don't know, I always just love how you like elaborate about things. So I just have some that I'll share at the I'll share at the end. But I wrote down, exercise your positivity. Like, I was like, that's beautiful. But thank you, Simply E.
Wonderful. Thank you again, Simply E and Chioma. I want to hear from our other guests, Lavender, on the stage. Lavender, how are you doing? Where are you joining us from today? And what do you think when you hear today's proverb? It says, a dog that lives on the bank of a brook never tires of lapping the water. Okay, Lavender, we will come back to you later. It seems you're far from your mic. We'll go to my brother Rushi. Brother Rushi, how are you doing today? Where are you joining us from? And what are your perspectives on this proverb?
Good morning. Good morning, Simon. I am calling today from Charleston, South Carolina. This is a pretty interesting proverb. I think what this proverb made me think of first was one of my favorite songs by Maxwell. He has a song called Lake by the Ocean. And that's what comes to mind when I think of this proverb, because that song kind of talks about finding contentment and joy in smaller things. It's like, can you be happy living by a lake if there's an ocean nearby? That's kind of what dogs do. Dogs, whatever you give them, they are happy with. If you give a dog a small pool, he's going to run around that and he's going to lap the water. If you show him a lake, he'll do the same thing. If you take him to the beach, he will also do that as well. That's what I think of, being happy with whatever you have in your life. And also one interesting thing about this proverb that also makes me think is I remember when I went to when I was on the coast in Kenya, and I was so excited to be able to see the Indian Ocean for the first time. That was so I was saying to myself, I like, wow, the Indian Ocean is probably one of the best oceans in the world. And when I was walking down the street, I saw a couple of guys that hang out at this small shack it's 2 blocks from the ocean. I said to myself, why would you hang out right here when there's the Indian Ocean right down the street, you know? But that always got to me. It's like, but also I also thought about myself where I live at in Charleston. I actually live 10 minutes from the ocean myself, but I never take advantage of the fact that I live next to the ocean. I live 15 minutes from a beach. But then when I go across the world, I get excited to see the beach in the ocean. So to me, it makes me think of the fact that you need to find happiness and joy and contentment with what you have in your possession. Thank you, Simon.
Oh, thank you, Brother Rushi. I love what you shared, and I was smiling as you're speaking. For those who are watching on YouTube, you're probably seeing my face. I was smiling because I come from Lake Victoria. I come from the largest lake in Africa, but I'm also part of those people. I'm one of those people who are not great swimmers, even though I grew up right by the lake. So I don't blame those guys who are hanging out, a block from the ocean, because they probably don't want anything to do with the ocean, even though they live there. They identify as, people from Mombasa, and also today's proverb being from Seychelles, and you are in Mombasa, you probably touched, the same sand and water that people in Seychelles, where this proverb comes from, connect with all the time. I want to,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes.
But also, I want to just give Rushi a shout out in regards to being one of the people that I have traveled with to Kenya in the past. I organize group trips, together with Lavender. We've been bringing people to Kenya for years now. We took a break, of course, during the pandemic, and we've been planning. We are rebuilding the website, and we are now mobilizing a team so that, early next year, we can do the first trip after a couple of years, and also maybe mid and end of next year we want to try and do not just one but a couple of trips. So if this intrigues you, connect with Lavender so that she can just keep you and your information in the list of people that we want to travel with. Now I want to just check in with you, Lavender, briefly. We skipped you because you are far from your microphone. Are you in a position to share your perspective? Yeah, I cannot hear you, Lavender. So we will have to skip you again. We will go to Brother Earth. How are you doing today, my brother? Thank you again for your continued support. Share with us your perspectives on today's proverb from Seychelles.
Hey, peace and love, Simon. Peace and love, family. I got some things going on in the background right now, Simon. I'm just here for support. Peace and love.
Peace and love to you. Nice to hear your voice briefly, and good luck with everything you have going on for you today. I'm going to go on and invite Kati. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Share with us your
Yes, you
perspectives.
have.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Simon. Thank you very much to have for having me on the stage. This is the second time I be here on your club. So right now you're talking about the passionate. I have I whatever I do right now in my life, I am so passionate about it. I work as a human rights lawyers, and I've been doing this job for quite some times, and I'm just love it, and I do everything to help people out. I'm quite passionate about how to prevent armed conflict in Africa, and find out what caused it and how we can prevent it there. And for those who they still trying to find passion in life, um, and how to learn how to find your passion in life. Here are some. I'm going to give you some suggestion. Like one of them is the something that already love and doing since you are a child. Do you have a hobby or something that you love to do as a child but never consider it is as a passion for your job or for your career in life? So this is the thing here. You have to find out what you love to do. For example, probably you love to reading books, like collecting something or creating or building. There is probably way to you could do it for a living or something like that. So you have to find out what the thing that you like in or you love in life, so you can just keep doing it, and you have to be a good at it. So if you love something to do, you will be able to do it a properly. So you have to find out something that you like. So for myself, I like to read books. For example, I'm trying my best to read like at least 1 hour every day. And right now I'm reading book about one the biggest ethnic group in Africa, um, most of them in West Africa. The I think I'm not quite sure if you call them Fulani or Fola. So I'm reading I'm reading book about them, and this is the first time I found out that this tribe or this ethnic group, they are in many countries in West and Central. Probably they are um all over Africa. So if you love something such as book, what sort of book you like to read? Are you passionate about the reading a fiction or non-fiction book? Myself, I don't mind really both of them. I try to read either one, either books, like I don't mind. And so for those who still trying to find out the what their hobby or what the passion for them in life, they have to like brainstorm of something, like asking to find their position or their passion. Like for example, get a piece of paper and try to write down ideas that the thing that you like or you think you like. So you have to organize a list of things that you like to do, and after that you can figure it out what the most thing that you like to do, so you can just keep doing it as a career or as a hobby. Because even if you have a job and don't like it and you're not passionate about, you will never do it properly. So if you love something and you like to do something, you will definitely will do it in the right way. So this is just my contribution in this matter. um Myself, I'm passionate about books, reading, human rights, and try to prevent conflict in Africa wherever. Try to do whatever I can. Like I'm a writer too. I write articles about this sort of topic, like how to prevent human rights violation, how to prevent armed conflict in Africa, how to prevent all this trouble, all this challenge facing Africa. I think two hours ago we were in the room together with many people from all over the continent. We've been talking about the challenge that's facing Africa, such as drought, climate change, human rights violation, armed conflict, and all this sort of thing, hunger. and we try to find a solution how we can address all this challenge in Africa. So I'm just this is the thing that I'm doing. I've been doing it for quite some times, and the thing that I'm passionate about it, and probably I will do it. I will be doing it for the rest of my life. Thank you again, Simon. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're most welcome. Thank you for joining us. I'm so happy that you're able to join us again today. And also, I think you connected to us through Rocky. Roger is now named Rocky. And I just appreciate, this connection and how we are building this space. I welcome Johnny. I see you there, my brother. Johnny is one of the people that helped build up this space from the very beginning. And I also want to give a shout out to Toin Umesiru, who is an amazing creator also, and another sister doing incredible work across the world, educating people and coaching people and supporting people. We are here for the Daily African Proverbs. We are recording this for the African Father in America podcast, which is available across all podcasting platforms, from Apple Podcasts to Spotify to Amazon. You'll find this amazing conversation there as well in an hour or so from this moment. Now I want to invite Stella. Stella, briefly share with us your own perspective on today's proverb. Thank you for being here.
Simon,
Yes.
if Stella's able to speak, but I saw her interpretation in the chat.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead and read it?
Yes, I can.
Fantastic.
She said, this proverb is an encouragement for us to keep on loving what we do and do it even on the days when we don't feel like it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Stella. Let's go to Stephen and then we'll come back to you, Chioma, to wrap us up. Stephen, how are you doing today? Where are you joining us from? And what does this proverb mean to you?
Thank you for having me, Simon. There is
Stella,
Esther.
I'm joining from Kampala, Uganda. I travel a little, but my background is really noisy. So I've left my interpretation on the chat. Right, thank you.
Stella, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Yeah, we have a hard time hearing you, Stella. But we got your interpretation, and it sounds like you are in Uganda, in Kampala, Uganda today. Maybe Museveni does not want you to contribute today. Anyhow, so I just appreciate you, Stella. And those who don't know Museveni is the president of Uganda, and he is very fond of turning off the internet during election periods. And sometimes, he just chooses a social media platform that he does not want people to access, or he increases the cost of internet, especially for social media use. So it's I was just joking there a little. Let's hear from Stephen though. Stephen, how are you? Where are you joining us from? And what are your perspectives on today's proverb?
Thank you, Simon. I'm Steven, joining from Kisumu, Kenya. And my understanding of today's proverb is one, it reminds me to get to know myself and what I'm connected to most, and understand what I'm connected to. And be passionate about what I'm connected to. And that which I'm connected to, I believe, translates to my passion. So it's just a reminder that I have to keep on doing what I love doing, and I don't need to be coerced to do what I love doing. Thank you, Simon. And that was my moment.
Wonderful. Thank you again, Stephen. Let's go straight to Sharon. Sharon, how are you? Thank you for joining us on the stage. Let's hear what your perspectives are.
Hi, Simon. Long time. Nice to hear you and Shioma. I hope everyone is well. And thank you to everyone who has already contributed. Well, I was thinking that the proverb citing water, which water is life sustaining. And so that really resonated with me in terms of um, using that as a metaphor for whatever work, whatever passion keeps us going, keeps us happy about waking up in the morning. That's the best metaphor that I could think of to describe doing what you love, practicing what you love. So I really loved it, and I love Shioma's poem. There isn't a poem by Shioma that I don't love, and I'm just, happy to be able to contribute. Thank you for inviting me to speak.
You're most welcome, Sharon. I appreciate you. I appreciate your perspectives as well. And now I want to, just last time I want to check in with you, Lavender. Are you able to contribute now, or should we go to Chioma to close our session by sharing just some of the things she picked up from every contributor, and also just how you can all support the amazing work that Chioma is doing? Lavender? Lavender, I love to connect with you later and try and help you with the technical issue that you're going through. But your presence has been felt. Chioma, how did we do today? What were some of the few things that you picked up from today? And actually, Chioma, let me bring on Simply E. Simply E, how did we do today?
I think we did well today. I love the fact that there were there's different perspectives, and that's always a good thing, right? Being able to see the world through other people's views enhances our lives, and so I think it's just good to have the brain wake up in a different way, right? You gave the perspective even of the puppy. I think that was just I still got that in my mind right now. That puppy jumping into the water made me miss my puppy as a child. I also started thinking about I don't know, maybe it's time to get another dog. It's been a long time, but I think it's just beautiful that we're able to see the world through other people's viewpoints, and there are a lot of great points that were made today. We did very well, Simon.
Thank you so much. Chioma, it's now your moment to share with us what you picked up from our speakers, and also how we can stay connected with you and the amazing work that you do.
All right. So I'm just going to run through some things that stood out to me from what people said. And I think the one interesting thing about sharing is that sometimes what people share even takes you to like another place or gives you like another revelation. So Simon, you said follow your passion, find a way to integrate your passion in everyday life. You said don't be afraid to take risk. And when you were talking about Madaraka Festival, you were talking about like all the things that happened behind the scenes. And you said nobody knew happening the scenes. And I think sometimes when taking risk, we can worry about all these mishap and these things, and it's like nobody else is noticing them, but we're worried about them. No one else worried about them. So that's something that just kind of like popped in my head when you said that. And then I loved how you said sometimes our God is the thing that we come back to, or the thing that we love. And I thought that was just very beautiful and poetic. Simply E said, if you're around water and you love water, you're gonna keep jumping in there. So being around things that you naturally gravitate towards can be nurturing for your spirit and mind. And you just mentioned like exercising like our positivity or exercising that thing that gives us joy. Rushi, you said that finding contentment and joy in smaller things, finding contentment and joy in what we have in our possession. Alcrutch, hopefully I'm saying your name. I'm trying. um, you encouraged us to of ways to find our passion. You said sometimes it's starting with what we already love and we already do, our hobby or that thing that we love to do when we were a child. I think sometimes we forget about those things. So when you said that, that kind of like stuck with me. Stella, I just loved your hope share. You said an encouragement that this proverb is an encouragement for us to keep on loving what we do and do it even on the days when we don't like it. Stephen said that this proverb was an encouragement to get to know ourselves and what we're connected to and understand the things that we connected to, and being passionate about what we're connected to. And Sharon, you mentioned that the proverb talked about water and how water is life and it's life sustaining. And so, how water can be a metaphor for whatever thing it is that keeps us going, that keeps us sustained. So, yeah, just thank you everyone for your shares. It always, like, I don't know, they always encourage me, leave me thinking more. So, yeah, thank you. And is it okay if I close reading the poem and then with how people can support me?
Why not? Why not?
Okay. All right, Simon. All right. So the poem inspired by today's proverb. And so the proverb of today was a dog that lives on the bank of a brook never tires of lapping the water. In the poem. Why I come back to you? Because you're a body of water, and some days I thirst. Why I come back to you? Because you're a body of water I know. Familiar tastes good sometimes. Why I come back to you? Because body of water, fresh water that I love to dive into. Why I come back to you? Because you're a body of water. You're a body of water. Thank you. And how you all can support me is by just continuing to support this space and the things that I'm connected to. Someone supported me from the last room that we had, and they donated to my friend's GoFundMe fundraiser from this space, and I really appreciated that. I think her name was Kasewa, so thank you. So that's another way you can support me. You can just go to my IG, Chioma.Sheri, so that's CHIOMA.Sheri, SHERI, and just check out my link tree. I have a fundraiser that I'm doing for my friend just to help her just finish her last semester of college. You know, she just been experiencing some difficulties. So if you can support that, you're supporting me. And then anything else in my link tree, you're supporting me. Coming back to this space, you're supporting me, supporting people in this room, you're supporting me. So thank you so much. And thank you, Simon, for this just wonderful space.
You're most welcome. Thank you, Chioma, for contributing your gifts, your talent, your time over the past many, many, many weeks. You know, I can't keep track of how many sessions you've joined me for, but I really, really thank you. I think, you know, we've become great friends just as a result of doing this together consistently. And I want to thank everyone who joined us today as well. Have a wonderful rest of your day and join us tomorrow for another episode of the African Father in America podcast. This is episode number 264. And thank you. Take great care of yourselves. Peace and love.
African Father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.